Hey, it's Patrick Cuneta. I hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're talking about intermittent fasting. Now, it's been a while since we talked about, taking care of the physical health, so this is a great place to pick up. So intermittent fasting is essentially fasting, but for short periods of time, and doing it, on a regular basis especially is super important. So more specifically, there's a few different methods of intermittent fasting that, tons of people practice all around the world. And, a very popular one is, for example, eating for only 8 hours per day during an 8-hour window and then fasting for 16 hours for the rest of the day, essentially. And that is personally what I, do. Usually I fast for at least 16 hours a day. That's just, my eating habits and the process I've developed after learning about intermittent fasting a couple of years ago. And, I've been putting off this video for quite a while. This is something, like I said, this is something I've practiced for a long time. And I think I really, wanted to wait until I could really observe the benefits for myself. I like to make videos, especially about things that I have personally experienced, things that I've gone through that have really helped me in my life. So that's why I've put this video off for a while. But like I said, intermittent fasting has been so important for me in my life. And, to answer a couple of your questions you might have, no, it is not starving yourself. No, it is not unhealthy. No, you're not going to be super tired and, not get enough fuel to, keep going throughout the day. It's actually quite the opposite. Intermittent fasting is extremely beneficial for you. It is so good for you in so many different ways. And like I said, this has been practiced all over the world, especially in modern society. We're so accustomed to constantly eating. So many people out there just eat because they're bored, constantly snacking all day. And that's just the culture. That's just, the way of life we've developed, it's just with such easy access to all kinds of foods around us, especially in the modern world. Like I said, you can just go to the store and get like anything. And if you think about in older civilizations, it wasn't like that. People had to forage for food, especially in early civilizations. They had to forage and farm and gather food. And, they just didn't have as much of an abundance of food as we do now. Yet people were able to survive and thrive throughout history. And, what we've come to as a society is, we eat so much food on a daily basis that we really don't need. I once read a study saying that, we could totally survive and be healthy by eating like a third of what we eat normally, as a society, especially in the United States as well. So, we have just changed so much as, mankind because of the food that we have access to. And another thing to note that is very interesting about fasting in general, especially intermittent fasting, is that whenever, any animal on the earth is sick or not feeling good or, just have some kind of disease or sick or anything at all, they will naturally fast. They naturally stop eating for a while. And you might even do this when you're sick as well. A lot of people, when you're sick, you don't feel like eating all day and your body might just be telling you to not eat, And that is because, let's get to some of the benefits of intermittent fasting here. That is because when you fast, especially intermittent fasting or fasting overall, your body actually goes through a lot of very beneficial processes, and a lot of things kind of start moving within your body that are really good for you. And number one is cellular repair. So while you're fasting, your cells actually begin to repair themselves, like every cell in your body. And what I've noticed while fasting is I actually kind of feel that cleanliness throughout the body. Everything feels lighter, everything feels smoother, like the energy is flowing much easier. And you just have so much more energy overall. I actually get a lot of energy when I fast, instead of what you might think, when you're tired. And there's a few things that can affect your tiredness for sure. And that feeling of hunger in your stomach, it's definitely like, it might take a little bit getting used to be able to endure that. Because I'll admit, like I notice like I feel that feeling of hunger in my stomach every day, like after, towards the end of my fast, but it doesn't bother me. To me it's like normal. And something interesting I learned about was actually that feeling of hunger in your stomach when you're really hungry is actually the feeling of bacteria, in your stomach, essentially like dying or like wanting food and stuff like that. So that's something really interesting I learned about. So yeah, like I said, it just gives you so much energy in it and kicks in cellular repair. And there's tons of other benefits as well. It actually, you know, during fasting, it improves your levels of human growth hormone in your body, which will help you to burn fat and actually gain muscle. So you can actually gain muscle by intermittent fasting. There's tons of bodybuilders and, you know, people that are super into fitness out there that practice this, you know, this practice of intermittent fasting for sure. So that's just one of the benefits as well. And some other things that it's good for is also, you know, it's really good for your heart, it's really good for your brain, and it can actually help to prevent cancer. So there's so many different benefits that come from intermittent fasting and fasting overall. And like I said, I've experienced tons of this in my life. You know, I feel like I'm in much better shape than I used to be physically, and I have, you know, more muscle, and I have, you know, less fat, and everything overall, way more energy. And some things that can really help with intermittent fasting as well is drinking plenty of fluids, drinking plenty of water. I believe there's people out there that practice fasting with just completely dry fasting, you know, where you just don't eat or drink anything at all. But some people practice, I don't know if it's called wet fasting, but drinking water and stuff like that. There's also juice fasting as well, which people do sometimes for a longer period of time. I actually do want to do some experimenting with juice fasting and other types of fasting in my own life. And, you know, once I get there, I'll make some more videos talking about that experience, of course, as well. But like I said, intermittent fasting has been huge for me in my life. And one other thing to note that really helps is, you know, the time that you are eating, you know, if it's, you know, 8 hours a day, or, you know, another method people do is a 24-hour fast, maybe once a week. They just don't eat for 24 hours period, you know, once a week. And that can really help your body to repair, to feel better, and, you know, like I said, all those other great processes. But aside from that, the times that you are actually eating, if you're eating healthy food, if you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, and, you know, healthy overall, I'm not saying you have to be vegan or vegetarian. I personally have not eaten meat in almost a year, which has helped me a lot in many other ways. But that's a whole nother video. Working on my path towards full veganism, of course. But like I said, that's besides the point. But like I said, the times that you are eating, as long as you're eating healthy, that'll really, really help you to get through the fast much easier, to not feel as tired, especially when you're fasting, or just in general overall, of course, because, you know, that food you're putting into your body, that is what your body's absorbing. And especially when you can eat high vibrational foods like fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, your body, your mind, everything is going to be in a much higher state. So that's just a few things on intermittent fasting. That's an introduction to what it is. I'll do plenty more videos, like I said, in the future, talking about fasting in general, different types of fasting, dieting, and exercise, physical health overall, because that's what we're all about. That's all, you know, this whole process of self-transformation is about the mind, the body, and the soul. So you got to pay attention to all of those. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you've ever tried intermittent fasting. I'd love to hear about that. Don't forget to check out the description. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. Got plenty more coming soon. Your mind is much more powerful than you think. Have a great day. Peace.